do. How do I invite him? Hey, Lindsay, welcome back. Why isn't it showing Mark and I being friends? And then it gives me like a million other suggested hosts that I have no idea who they are. All right, when he comes in here, can I click somebody and then manage? No, that's not going to do it. All right, it's matching up now. All right, invite Dislife Mark. All right, invite sent.
It's still the craziness.
Yeah, you and I are gonna have to do this like later after the show, and then we'll just like it'll be like a breakdown afterwards where we just do lives a billion times until we figure it out. There's a way to do it. We're clearly just not doing it correctly.
But our voices are amazing. They said.
Well, are they in sync now or no?
I don't know if they're in sync, but they're.
So Jackie, I don't know if we were good. The only reason why I say that is we might not have been good, but because Kate and I were showing things, you wouldn't know.
We are. Right? We're in sync now. We're in sync. You could be Justin, and I'll be JC.
Yeah, I want to go headphones, but I'm too afraid I'm going to break it. But I'm going to try.
It sounds wonderful. You sound wonderful.
I know, but I still want to. I'm going to plug it in.
All right. All right. Should we flip the coin to see who's going to go first here?
All right. Yeah, let's flip it and let's do it. Can you hear me? Are we good?
All right. So we have the Spira. Ooh, do you want head?
Ooh.
Wow. What do you want? You want heads or tails?
I want the bright suns on top. Let's go. Okay. My three sons of home life. Oh, jeez.
It fell.
Speaking of which, if you don't know what that is, that's actually Spira, and Spira are the it's the currency. It's basically a Disney gift card. You can use it anywhere on property, but you can only get it in Batu. And you have to put $100 down on it to get one of those things, but it's really hefty. It costs $5 to. Well, awesome. That's great. So it costs $5 to activate it, and then it's activated forever. But it is a hard gift card that you can use it everywhere. But it's fun to just use in Batu to actually spend money on it. At one point I got to teach you, Mark, about we're gonna do a bar crawl called the Batu Bright Suns Challenge. We need a better name. Maybe you know how it was the Bantu Eve Classic. Maybe it's the Batu Bright Suns Classic, where you have to do all 4 bars 3 times for the Suns of Batu, and you got to ride Rise, Smuggies, and Star Tours, plus play 3 games of Sabak.
Are you making this challenge up? Because this is amazing.
Yeah, I made it up yesterday on the lives, and I was talking to Lemuel about it, and I was like, dude, this is what we do. It's 12 drinks. You got to get 3 different Oga's reservations because you got to go into Oga's 3 times in a day. That's the most challenging part. There are 4 bars in Batu. There's the Milk Stand, there's Docking Bay 7, there's Ronto Roasters, and then there's Oga's. The only thing is you got to go to Ronto Roasters, crank through Ronto Roasters, but then ride Smuggies, ride Rise. So you probably have to buy Rise or rope drop Rise. Then Star Tours would probably be your last ride of the night, or Smuggies. But yeah, it's 12 drinks. You can do it throughout the entire day. You got to play 3 games of Sabak. So after a round, you got to go on a ride or play Sabak. Yeah.
I feel like the 3rd reservation's the hardest part.
I think getting
Oga's.
I think getting a morning Oga's is easy. A middle Oga's is the hardest, and a nighttime super late Oga's. I actually think you'll leave Oga's when Hollywood Studios has been closed for like an hour, because you'll have like a 9:45 or 10 o'clock res at Oga's.
Yeah, the end of the day can be done. Just popping one off at the beginning of the day is pretty simple. It's that middle of the day.
Yeah, getting the Oga's reses is the most challenging, and then the last most challenging is getting out of studios. just walking out of it.
Just staying upright. So when I did the 10-hour stream for the Pocket Fam,
Yeah.
I drank like 2 of the fuzzy tauntauns in a matter of seconds. It was like ridiculous because I was so thirsty and parched. They're like, Mark, wow, like, did you finish that already? Man, by the time I got out and I caught the lift back to Dockside, I was shot. Like, I was completely and totally, I think I was hardcore. Like, I was drunk just off of drinking so fast.
And I thought Mark smelled bad on the outside.
And I thought they smelled bad on the outside. And then that was did I tell you about the salad dressing massacre of 2022?
No, what happened?
All right, you didn't hear. Okay, so I'm training, I'm eating well for the 5K. I'm like really trying to be careful of what I'm putting in my body at certain times of night, so like my gut health doesn't feel bad. And then I get a little drunk. I get back to Dockside. I don't want to. I don't know what's happening. What's happening?
No, I'm lip servicing comments while listening to you.
That's
but not
what I.
getting
That's
in the
what
middle.
I thought. Okay, that's what I thought you were doing. But I'm
Yeah.
like, is he mouthing something to me?
No.
There's something on my face.
Dude, HELP space ME. So, all right. What happened with the salad dressing?
I get back to the hotel. I don't want to eat anything like really bad. So I'm like, a salad. I'm drunk. I'm like, this is going to be great. I'm going to get a salad. And I'm juggling stuff as I'm getting back to the room. The dressing, which was sitting on top of the salad, falls off. And it looked like an episode of Dexter. So
What dressing did you get?
I got a balsamic vinaigrette. And it was one of the bigger cups. It exploded everywhere. And I'm half I'm half lying. I'm half crying. I'm half laughing. Because I'm like, man, FML right now. It's so late. I got to clean this up. It smells. I'm like, I can't even. I'm so exhausted. Alicia Haig was on the phone with me. She's like, what is this emotion? I'm like, I don't know, Alicia. I'm like, I have to go clean it. The whole room smelled. It was everywhere. Then I got up in the morning. I'm like, how did salad dressing get on the wall across the room?
Oh, God.
It was everywhere. Everywhere. To the point of where I'm like,
You only took 2 fuzzy tauntauns, too.
It was like 2 fuzzy tauntauns. I think I can't remember what the third drink was, but I got 3 drinks within a 15-minute span, and I was feeling it pretty good.
Yeah, that can happen. The fuzzy tauntauns aren't that strong in comparison to some of the other drinks. I forget what I had the other day. There was one that straight up tasted like I was drinking hairspray, and I'm like, dude, I get it. Oh, you know what it was? It was the bourbon peach tea I had at Port Orleans. Like, it's a $16 drink. So I guess people have the expectation, I'm paying $16, I should have like half a cup of hard alcohol. Like that, just charge me $13 and give me like a nice tasting drink, you know?
Yeah.
But
well, I have you ever had what's the one from Dagobah that's got the sprig in it?
That's the Slug Slinger.
It's horrible. The bartender's like, it's very tequila forward. And I'm like, yeah, I love tequila, man. This thing's horrible. I finished it and I was like, I regret every bit of that drink.
Dude, what happened? Now we can have questions. Yeah, dude, I can imagine not liking that, but Ellie can now ask questions in here.
Yay.
It might be, honestly, if you haven't updated your TikTok app in a long time, no joke, my TikTok app will update once to twice a week, all the time. It's always. Yeah, Vic, yours just came through. Q&A is working, which is awesome. That's actually super, super helpful for this. Even if we have a small chat, this is definitely... No, there's looks like everybody's Q&As are working.
Picasso.
That's great.
All right. So you won.
I won. So
you won. It went under my desk. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go, man.
For the
so
noise
once again,
to be brought.
Here's the fun of this, right? This or that. What I love is no matter what you get positioned on here, you have to have an opinion on it, even if you disagree with the selection that was chose. So we're going to put out our best effort to impress upon you which one is better, this or that. Magic Kingdom Edition. Could be rides, could be shows, could be food. Let's give it away, Mark.
Yeah. And where the advantage is you get to choose what at least you want to say. I have no choice. I have to argue otherwise. All right, ready? So number one, right out the bat, we're in the Tiki Room studio. This is Tiki Room Radio. So let's start right away with the Tiki Room or Country Bears, better classic. You get to pick, and then I got to pick the other side.
Dude, you're going to love me for this. I'll take the Country Bears.
Okay.
Do it, and the floor is mine?
The floor is yours, sir.
Well, you know, the one thing about the Country Bears that it's much like everything in Disney. The devil is in the details. And not only is it one of the most entertaining shows for a general audience, right? It's good for kids. It also has those like hidden adult jokes. It's borderline should be canceled in terms of some of the subject matter in it. But it's got iconic songs. It's been around for 50 years. It's so enjoyable and fun. And I love the fact that it had a backstory that originally it was supposed to be part of a Disney ski chalet, so like a ski show. And that's how they brought it back down here. What I love about ours in Florida is that some of the characters have been specifically chosen to have a backstory of, so for example, Teddy Barra is from Tampa. So it's cool that it's also localized and the Bears aren't just like randomly there for no reason. This is a legitimate live show that was together. Also, let's, am I supposed to, is this one-sided? Do I have a time? Do I have a clock?
I don't know. We're making it up as we go.
All right. The other thing that I'm going to just throw in there is the fact that if another movie or show has adopted and brought it in an amazing way, the Goofy movie parodies it with, is it Lester's?
I think it's Lester. Yep.
Possum Park. I mean, it's a straight-on rip of that, and I just love it. I mean, it's such an enjoyable show. Never has a line and exits out to one of the best restaurants that we have on property. Plus, there's now amazing 50th food that's themed towards it. Wendell's Bear Claw, easily one of the best 50th treats. It's a hazelnut, delicious, I would put it more as like a chocolate croissant or a pain and chocolat, if you're fancy, filled with Nutella. And then you also have the Big Al double burger with maple bacon in Pecos Bills. All right, I'm done. I could just talk forever, so I'm just going to shut up. It's your turn.
Dude, that was amazing. This is why you're always going to be really hard to beat in stuff like this. So, Bash Brothers did give us the name of, and I'm having so much trouble scrolling because it's just clicking on.
Oh, it's so tiny. Hang on. Justin, do you put it in a Q&A? Honestly,
Lester's Possum. Lester's Possum.
Uh-oh. Your guest has gone offline. What do I do with my hand? I don't know. What do I do with my hands? He just yeeted himself.
What happened?
You just yeeted yourself, dude.
I was scrolling and I literally yeeted myself out.
Yeah, the old scroll yeet. Jess, do yourself a favor, exit out of this for a quick second and go and update your TikTok app. Now, granted, it might be something with your phone, whether it's an Android versus iPhone. Maybe it doesn't have the most up-to-date. We're all running iPhones, so maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that would be my recommendation to get QAs is update your TikTok app. Tell them to be on live first. That's what Kate did. But Goth, when you say that, do you mean like he's on a live and then I join him?
No, I'm on a live and then I think you're on a live.
And then we merge the
You
live?
want to just try it for argument's sake?
No, I want you to tell me why the Tiki Room is better.
All right,
That's what I want. And we'll figure this out another time because this is not... I'm happy that we're doing this right now and we can attempt to do a dual live and figure... I don't even... How would I even access your existence? Like right now it's trying to tell me to bring in Lemuel, which would be awesome, but not yet. I'm too nervous to bring in more people.
I don't know. Maybe we should bring in Lemuel to the party at some point.
Yeah, he's probably sitting at home eating cheese doing his normal face. So he's probably like, dude, do not try to bring me in right now. I am not camera ready.
Yeah, is that the Lemuel cheese face? That's awesome. If that's true, Lem, I absolutely love it. I need a screenshot and a cap of the
Dude,
Lemuel
just go on
cheese face.
Discord. There's like 100 pictures of basically him doing this the entire time on his lives. All right, so that's my Country Bears. Let me hear your Tiki.
Obviously, from a sentimental, before I even get into the Country Bear Jamboree, from a sentimental value, Tiki Room is always the most special to me because it is the one thing that I remember as a kid. It's my most vivid memory, and remembering my dad. My dad's a pretty like serious dude. But one of the great things about the Tiki Room is it has the ability to make dads break down. That exterior shell just comes right off of dads, and they can sing along with the Tiki Birds and still feel masculine and manly. But I mean, it is a feat in Imagineering in that, you know, Walt Disney, it is the forerunner of the audio animatronic that Walt Disney was inspired seeing these birds do these movements, these very realistic movements, and told the Imagineers over at WED, basically make this happen. So all of the audio animatronics that we have been given over the years all draw their inspiration back to this attraction. It is timeless. It continues to inspire so many people today when you go and see it. The soundtrack of it is timeless and it's classic. It's one of those rides that does not need to be updated, and it does not need to be touched to still be as relevant today as it was when it was created. And the fact of the matter is, the Tiki gods themselves even smote the attempt to change the Tiki Room when it was under new management. The Tiki gods, and likely Tucker and the Tiki gods, set Iago on fire, saying we need to go back to the original. But I mean, it's the ultimate earworm. Lots of humor in there, dad jokes, puns. There's something new that you find. Kirk, my favorite quote that you've said is every single time that you go and watch the Tiki Room, there's always something new that you discover in the dialogue or in the happenings of it, so that it has incredible repeat value over the years. Plus, you know, you can get out of the sun for a little bit, enjoy. And the queue, talking about not having a line, there's never a line. And the exit goes right into Aloha Isle where you can get Dole Whip. How do you get better than that, man?
Okay, so I've been writing notes because I hate all of your argument because it's so good. So I think we should have like a
counterpoint?
Like a 2-minute or a 3-minute, maybe like a, what do you think, 2 or 3?
I'd say 2, because if not, we're not going to get through many topics.
Fresh.
Yeah, keep it fresh.
So 2 minutes, and then I think a 30-second rebuttal.
Sure,
and then
sure.
A 30, like almost like a, it's like legal, right? So
yeah, let's keep it to 2 minutes.
Defense, then the prosecution, and then you have a counter, and we're out.
Yeah, like
so that way it would be a total of 5 minutes.
5
per
minutes.
Topic, right?
I like this.
2, 30.
We're working it out. You can see we're planning live. We've got this all figured out.
Yeah.
All right, so your 30-second rebut.
All right. My quick 30 seconds. You know, one thing that you can't do in the Tiki Room anymore, which is such a huge detractor, is you can't eat in it anymore, right? Yeah. That's a big letdown. That used to be one of the things I would look forward to, is grabbing something from Aloha Isle. Now I have to go and battle this massive wave of traffic just to get out of the place because everyone's getting Dole Whips. They're standing in the way. It's super uncomfortable. And honestly, the Tiki Room had to go through new management to try to make it better. Like, are you kidding me? And then they go back, like, pathetic, terrible. Country Bears has stayed the same the entire time because it doesn't need to change to be as good. Now, I'm not saying my Disneyland brethren are right because they canceled it and put Winnie the Pooh in there, but WDW knows what's up. Country Bears aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. The only thing that I can say about Country Bears is, and I should be clear, I love both of these. They are absolute perfection.
Yeah, this is terrible.
They're absolute perfection to me. The only thing that I can ever say about the Country Bears, that it's fortunate because the Tiki Birds are smaller, so they don't show that age and the wear and tear, whereas the Bears are really starting to show their age nowadays. And from my heart, I just want to see them get a little TLC. I don't ever want to see the Country Bears go away, but I do want to see those audio animatronics get a little bit of a spruce up, just so they're a little bit fresher. Their fit check has been failing over the course of the last few years. They don't pass the fit check. I think I went a little over 30 seconds. Apologies.
No, you're good. You're good. And I got to figure out which stopwatch is probably the best because you can see like the time because it doesn't count down, right?
Yeah.
But I was trying to see if doing that or a timer would make more sense. What does a timer look like when you? Oh no, timer is way better. Timer is way better. So the person who's not talking can just hold that up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do you you don't have a separate phone? I can just hold it up.
Where's my phone? No, I don't have a separate phone. This is my phone. I'm like, I'm used to live.
Where's my phone?
Yeah, well, I'm used to live streaming, so I'm just looking at the camera. I'm like, my phone's normally here, and I'm running off my computer. I'm like, where's my phone? Dude, where's my car?
So, Mads, first of all, Mads said Marc kept it more concise. Let me just tell you, if you've been watching my lives, nothing I do is concise. I talk for 18 hours. Trust me, I know how to stretch. All right, so let's put it up here. This or that. If you think that the Country Bears was, and this is really just Marc or my argument. It's not about which one is better. This is Marc or my argument for it. If you thought that my Country Bears was better, do a smiley face. If you think that Marc's Tiki Room was better argument, give him the sad face.
Hit me with the sad eyes.
I honestly, can I be honest with you, dude? And maybe this is going to change the poll. Oh, the polls are split, dude. We got a split poll. I feel like this is like an election. I'm so nervous. The big thing that I would have harped on if I was you is just the connection with Walt and how the Tiki Room started audio animatronics. Right?
Yeah.
Like I know you mentioned it, but we would not have other audio animatronics without the Tiki Room, and then
it's everything.
The fact that he went in there and noticed that the birds weren't breathing and said, "Why aren't our birds breathing?" And they go, "Well, it's just like a little tiny," and he was like, "Our birds breathe."
Breathe, yeah.
Like just, and I had a friend who was he works in maintenance over in Disneyland.
You got round one, by the way. Our poll expired. It was 1916. Nice job, dude. Well done.
Very, very close. Very close with three off. And it might be biased because I'm running this thing, so you gotta.
It's all in good fun, dude. It's all in good fun. I don't mind losing.
Yeah, I think also the just that attention to detail is so significant for all across. It's why we love Disney theme parks. All right, let's go to the next this or that, or I'll just ramble on for nothing.
Here we go. Next this or that. Ready? One
and
must go.
And you get to choose now, right?
Yep. One must go. One must go. The topic is one must go, and we're gonna argue as to why. Now we just praised something. Now we got to eliminate and we got to cut. So we're going the opposite end of the spectrum. One must go, Space or Big Thunder. And this is Magic Kingdom. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to argue, I think that Space Mountain must go. So you have to take Big Thunder Mountain must go.
Hang on. I'm going to reset this. That's not fair. Because you were like still explaining. Let me, all right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Space Mountain, the building of Space Mountain, the concept of Space Mountain is an absolute icon. The ride itself changed the very face of roller coasters, and it is a true original. However, the ride absolutely needs to go. It has seen better days. It is more of a chiropractic tool now than it is a thrill ride. The other versions of Space Mountain at parks around the world are infinitely better than what we're getting over in the Magic Kingdom, and the ride has really seen its day. There are a lot of classics, we just argued this last round, that need to stick around for posterity's sake, but this mountain just has to go. At best, the mountain needs to have a complete and total overhaul to the track and to the ride system. We need to have more illumination inside. Why don't we have Hyperspace Mountain? So for that reason, you can ride Big Thunder Mountain 1,000,000 times and it continues to give you joy throughout, like no matter how many times you ride it. A lot of people avoid Space Mountain purposely because it hurts you. It's definitely not as good as some of those other places. And it's not one of those rides that people are looking forward to in many cases going and experiencing. I yield the remainder of the 40 seconds to you, Kirk.
Wow, concise. I like that. I'm going to use all of my time because I talk too much. All right, so here's my opinion on Big Thunder and why it must go. Number one, I just look at it versus other Big Thunders, right? Walt Disney World is a pathetic attempt at an amazing attraction. First of all, Tony Baxter, I know it took him a couple of times to really make Big Thunder work, but can we just talk about how it was planned around a petrified tree that was given to Lillian by Walt? First of all, pathetic present from Walt to try to, get you. Who gives somebody a rock of a tree? Now, granted, if it was a black spire, I'd actually really like that, but I'm a weird person. So Walt gives her this tree. They make Big Thunder look like it. Okay, pretty lame. And then, it takes what? How many times do they have to build it? 4 times until we get Disneyland Paris, which is the appropriate one. It goes underneath the rivers of America. It looks gorgeous. It actually has a storyline. We don't get a storyline in Walt Disney World. Don't you come at me, Paul. Dude, I have to do this. I'm sorry. I don't really feel this way. This is me just using what I can to go against.
That's what makes this so fun.
I know, yeah. It's fun to take the opposite side. It's like me playing a villain in Batu or on the Halcyon, because I don't do that in real life. It's fun to do something different. And then, to me, it's not until 2006 when they do the refurb or plussing of the queue that we even know who Barnabas T. Bullion is. We now are getting some backstory to Tumbleweed. And if you look at the Disneyland version, they have what do they call theirs? Rainbow Ridge, which was from an old attraction. So you got to take old things and put it into your ride because you don't have any originality. Like, come on. Absolutely sad. It doesn't make sense. And also, it doesn't have a live-action film, so it clearly isn't as good as Pirates or The Jungle Cruise, because they already have live-action films. Not a classic. Doesn't matter. Get rid of it.
Okay. So
again,
I don't feel this. Well, you did a great job of trying to convince me. So now with
hang on. I got it. Let me set the 30 seconds on the clock. In 3, 2, 1, get after it.
Okay, so with my 30 seconds now, I have to praise the ride that you just said because I have to obviously say why it's so much better.
Hang on. I got to restart. Yeah, I feel bad. You were explaining the all right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Big Thunder Mountain, it is delightful when you ride it. The ride mechanic of it is absolutely delightful. People they scream in delight. Yes, it doesn't have all of the bells and whistles that it should. Yes, it should have more of those projections on it. But even without those, I would rather ride that 1,000,000 times over than the back adjustment that is Space Mountain.
Very solid. I understand where you're coming from a pure physical standpoint. All right, 30 seconds on the clock for me on why we should save Space Mountain. First of all, it's iconic. When I show up on the monorail late at night and I get to see that Tomorrowland looking, which is arguably the best looking, well lit up site in all of Magic Kingdom. Hands down, it's gorgeous. Looking off from the Contemporary, it wouldn't be the same if you were at Cali Grill without it. Also, we get 2 different tracks, so it's 2 different sides of fun. And also it has its own Disney Play app game. Can't beat that.
Yeah, nice job. Very concise, right to the very end. Just for argument's sake, again, this was a fun topic. I love Space Mountain. It is one of my absolute favorite things in the whole world.
I think legitimately in my head, I probably would keep Big Thunder legit because I don't go on Space as much.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a wild mouse ride to me rather than like a really fun, enjoyable coaster. And I think that's just because of size constraints.
I really just want the ride to get a little bit of an overhaul. I think it just needs a refurb. You need a new track on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna freak out because one of the rides I'm the most excited about over in Disneyland when I go in May is, believe it or not, is Space Mountain, because it's gonna be Hyper Space Mountain when I go in May.
Yeah, that's such a hang on. Let's put up the poll.
Let's put the poll while we're talking.
Right, because all right. So if you think that Big Thunder should go, you're going to go smiley face. If you think that Space Mountain should go, you're going to do a sad face. So Big Thunder should go. That's going to be smiles. Space Mountain should go. Give us the sad face. So
dude,
what were you going to say?
This is why you're the TikTok king. All this, you know how you're like, yo, you're the YouTube guy. All the stuff you're doing, polls and all that, I have no clue what you're doing right now. I couldn't do this without you.
So all I did is clicked the interact, and I don't really do a lot of polls in my lives, but I just know how to use them if we needed to. There's at one point I'll do one of those, like I remember All Ears Molly used to do it on Instagram and her stories, she would do a poll and let people choose the next thing. But I
Yeah.
think one day I'll do a Carpe Diem and it's just straight up the chat. And the chat decides via polls where we go, what do we have, what do we try. I'll make it like a choose your own adventure. So like
Yeah.
some of the things will be in there. But yeah. And also, I think this poll, you're crushing and annihilating. This is not a split decision. I think most people probably feel this way without any of us opening our mouths.
I agree.
It's such a, it's like the Matterhorn, right? The Matterhorn is so iconic looking, but the ride sensation and the feel, like everybody complains about the Matterhorn at being just a not enjoyable ride experience because of the way it
It
feels.
hurts. Space Mountain really hurts. And
Yeah.
it depends on what seat you get on Space Mountain. If you are in that whip position, so the last seat of the second car, you're coming off that thing in traction. Legit, you are coming off that thing in traction. It's not a matter of if you're going to get hurt, it's how much you're going to get hurt in that
Right.
third spot.
Thank you, Michaela. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. That's amazing.
All right, next one. Let's flip.
All right.
Well, no, it's me, so I get to pick.
You get to pick. You're going to love this one. Ready? Bring one back. You get to revive and restore a classic legend of the Magic Kingdom. Are you bringing back Mr. Toad's Wild Ride or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
So, in our first one, I thought it would be fun to take the harder one, but I feel so passionately about this that I have to take Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
I knew you were gonna.
Yeah, I have to. It's just one of those ones. So, floor is mine. Let me put 2 minutes on the clock. I don't think I'm going to need that much time for this one. 3, 2, 1. All right. Why should we bring back Mr. Toad's? Well, first of all, Mr. Toad's versus Winnie the Pooh. Let's just look at those two attractions because that's what we're really talking about is we would have to replace Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh hasn't had a new piece of content since they did the live action, which was arguably okay. So it's just kind of a dying, decaying without a lot of nostalgic brands. They haven't put a lot of time or attention. I think it was kind of lazy that they threw it in there. 100 Acre Woods doesn't even make sense in Fantasyland. While Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was an opening day attraction, it had two completely separate storylines within the two tracks itself, so you could have two completely different adventures. Also, dark rides are one of the best type of attractions to have in Disney and why I prefer them over like a Six Flags type park because you can bring kids. You have an infant, you can bring them on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You don't have to worry about height requirements, any of those restrictions. That would give you two additional rides in Fantasyland, which is already congested. And I just heard Joey say that it was a 50-minute for Winnie the Pooh. That's a travesty. I never waited more than a half an hour for Mr. Toad's because there was two separate lines for it. Also, it's very funny how you would go through all of these crazy, wacky adventures with Jay Thaddeus, and then at the end, the fact that you wake up in a fiery inferno always made me laugh as a kid. Parents would look at it sideways, and kids would think it's hysterical and awesome, but that was an absolute, I agree, a travesty at removing Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You can have the rest of my time.
As a fan of classic cinema, there is something so special about Kirk Douglas and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea that the film is iconic. The ride itself is, again, a testament to Imagineering with forced perspective and Harper Goff's creation and the way that he was able to develop this ride system and develop an experience that is unlike anything else that the Magic Kingdom still has to this very day. If I only have one complaint about Disneyland California, it's that they brutalized, I want to use another word, but we're family friendly. They brutalized the submarine attraction to include Nemo, which has none of the kitsch, zero of the allure of the original 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We know as children that looking outside of that portcullis was one of the most amazing experiences and terrifying experiences that you had as a kid, not knowing what stared out at you in the deep. When the sea monster came across that porthole, you had a legitimate mini stroke or minor heart attack as a kid. The ride itself was so imaginative. It was very creative. I can't bring it back because it was also massive that almost all of New Fantasyland is where the ride was. And all of these new ride experiences have to fill in this area. one epic attraction. The scene where the squid wraps itself around the Nautilus is another legendary, iconic moment in film and Disney history that is unlike anything else that you see in the park. So ultimately, while Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is really fun, it's a delightful ride, there is nothing like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and it was a truly original ride experience. I yield my 15 seconds.
All right, let me put 30 seconds for a rebuttal on the clock.
Main Street Mall, all I see is so many bubbles, damn bubbles, you couldn't see anything.
Dude, how about that? Well, first of all, if you've ever ridden 20,000 Leagues, there's nothing more horrifying than a weird-looking dragon that has no storyline attached to it. Plus, the fact that you're jammed in a coffin that's underwater, not really a great idea.
Yeah.
You probably created more claustrophobic kids than anything of enjoyment for children. And let's not forget that we're actually going merrily, 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 merrily to nowhere in particular. Nothing can be said more true about 20,000 Leagues. Where is that thing now?
It's in the ride graveyard.
Now, they still have it at Disneyland.
They still do. They still do. But again, it's been butchered. Let's just say it's been butchered. Bring back the Nautilus.
All right, you ready for your...
Yeah, so I'm ready for my rebut. So Mr. Toad's Ride, for all of its worth, it was also really controversial. Lest we forget that there was an actual movement against it in the content of the ride itself. They had to really seriously tone down the ride because of the content inside of it. And the message of it was, let's just say, mixed at best. I do really love the hell scene, but there's just something about you going to hell that is not Disney at all.
Okay, let's put the poll up, and then I'm going to hold what I want to say, because if I say it during voting, it will not help me. All right, so if you want Mr. Toad, smile. This is bring back. You want to bring back Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, smile. If you want to bring back 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the Nautilus, crying. So Mr. Toad, smile. You want to bring it back, or Nautilus, tears, bring back the Nautilus.
I know that we had like all kinds of technical glitches at the start of this, which we're going to get naturally when it's our first time. But
Yeah.
damn, this is so fun, man. Damn it, this is so fun.
This is, yeah, I mean, this is the format is good. It actually works. I just need, as long as we can get the chat to be larger, we're aces. Like, we're super aces.
And we'll figure that out. Yeah, we'll
Yep.
figure out how to get the 2 request screens below us gone.
It's there's some sort of way. I'll ask Kate how she joined my live, because when she joined a live with me and what's his face with Jason on his phone, it was different, and she was like down below in the panel grid. So like I don't think he updated his app.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a nail biter. I think
This is another good one, dude.
Yeah, this is a great one.
This is another good one. That's a great topic.
It is. I think there's so much to be said about people feel that the parks were better when they were kids. Now, granted, we were all kids, so that's a little bit different because the magic is greater, bigger, because you actually think these things exist. Now, that's the beauty of when Disney does an attraction really well, is it completely takes you out of this is a ride, this is a preconditioned space, and I'm just enjoying life, which Disney still does that better than anyone, even if you are just an adult, right? And I think that's why adults still go back. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you so much. And thank you, C. You guys are the best. You can learn a lot of things from the roses. So,
all right. So what were you going to say that you thought was going to throw the whole match for you?
I was going to say that, going to a fiery place and Inferno's bad, but yet going into Mr. Winky's bar where he's tossing beers into the air at you, that's okay. Like, they're all not great, but like if you look at the wide variety of attractions and rides and things that still exist, like even with Country Bears, there's alcohol jokes there. There's also dating jokes there.
It's like you said, you can't believe
jokes.
Yeah, you can't believe it wasn't canceled. I mean, I can't believe Country Bears hasn't been canceled. As a shameless plug, for those who don't know, if you go to DizLife, D-I-S, lifepodcast.com, Kirk and I actually did episodes on both of these. We have a recurring segment on the podcast that we call Legends of the Magic Kingdom. And the first 2 episodes in that were 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So if you want to hear Kirk talk about and geek out about these two rides with myself, you can go and download those. We actually have full-length episodes on both of them.
Also, there's another one on there. The Haunted Mansion one's on there, right, too? It's not a, I think that's a history one.
We didn't do the Haunted Mansion. That was James.
That was
No,
James, really?
yeah, you did
that
James.
was Dwayne.
Yep.
I thought that was Dwayne. Interesting.
Yeah, you did the Haunted Mansion with James. But we still want to have a Haunted Mansion episode. We just never got round to it yet.
Dude, I have learned so much about, and I just bought this book. Kate told me the best book that she's ever purchased for like a ride historian, and you know I'm a Haunted Mansion freak, is The Imagineering Story for the Haunted Mansion. I found a used copy for $6 on Amazon. I scooped it immediately. It's not coming for like a decade, so I'll get it in a year and be able to read it. But there was, when you exit the attraction, here's a fun one. There are these sconces that are holding, they look like real thin skeleton arms that are holding torches. That was from Raleigh Crump's Museum of the Weird, and one of the few things that actually made it onto the attraction, which I love. Oh, hang on, I saw an iceberg. You're welcome for asking that question on her live. Yes, that is true. The books
What is
are
the
great.
iceberg, by the way? I've been so busy with other things. I'm falling behind. I know cactus. I know hibiscus. What's the ice? What's the iceberg?
Ice means I'm ignoring the chat and they want me to freeze and stop and read something. I'm missing something. So if I see icebergs ahead, they'll like flood the chat with just ice, which means that I am not paying attention to the chat, which who would have thought a long-winded idiot who can talk about Disney forever is just going to randomly look off and be nostalgic and spew something for 2 minutes and not look at the chat. This is an interactive thing.
Smell ice, can you? You could smell ice, can you? Little Titanic reference.
All
right, you ready? So it's 2-1.
Jack. It's your pick this time.
All right, so it's 2-1 right now. If this one, let's just see how this one goes. I'm going to pick first. All right, so this one is pretty simple. It's a this or that. Rope drop or park close. All right, rope drop
better, or which one's a better strategy?
Which one? Which one is better? Yeah. Which one is inherently better? Which one? Let's set the parameters this way. Which one is going to maximize your enjoyment, and which one is going to be the best to do for a new family? Park, rope drop, or park close? Okay. I'm going to pick first, and I'm going to start with. I'm going to go with park close. I'm going to give this one to you because I know you're a rope dropper.
Dead man walking.
Yeah. I'm going to give this one to you. All right. So everybody knows that rope dropping it's a term, it's a big thing because if you get there early enough, the early bird catches the worm. But here's the thing that most people don't know. When you go to park close, you're going to get that same opportunity with the same 2 or 3 rides where the lines and the ride queues are very low. And in a lot of cases, park close is going to be even better because so long as the ride that you want to be on does not break down, as long as you get on the queue, you can get onto that ride. He's taking notes already. I love this.
You're done.
You want to get on Rise of the Resistance? Get on 5 minutes before close, and unless that bad boy breaks down, you're going to get on. Plus, the other added bonus to it is once you get off of that ride, you have an empty park to take beautiful pictures with the illumination of the park and the lights up, and it's beautiful, it's quiet, the ambiance of the music is there, and what better time to capture the magic than to take pictures in front of the partner statue, to take pictures in Galaxy's Edge with the lights and all of the glory of the parks in full splendor. And you also have at Park Close, quite obviously, the opportunity to catch the nighttime spectaculars. You have Enchantment, you have you're killing me. You have Harmonious, you have Movie Magic. Those nighttime spectaculars can't be experienced if you're just rope dropping. So you have so much more at your disposal when you are ending your day in the park versus beginning it. Plus, come on, who wants to wake up that early without the help of Starbucks and caffeine? I yield the rest of my 19 seconds.
That's really...
I'm trying.
The best part of waking up is Joffrey's in your cup. Yeah, listen, if you want to actually maximize your time in the parks, and let's be honest, anybody who's going there, it's expensive to go to Disney. You want to get the most magic for your dollar. And the best way to get the most magic for your dollar is going to be to get there early. Now, granted, you're right, you have to get up early. But guess what? Early bird, as Marc said it, gets the worm. And the worm we're talking about here is being able to ride Flight of Passage, Rise of the Resistance, Slinky Dog, all those heavy hitters that you would have to, as Marc puts it, wait and hope that they don't break down. Oh, gosh. The Mouselets did a video on this, and I smashed in the comments. So you're going to put somebody's... What if your kids are like, Dad, I want to go on Seven Dwarfs. And you're like, son, we can't wake up early enough to go on Seven Dwarfs. So instead, we're going to wait and hope that after fireworks, it doesn't break down, which we still might have to wait in a 40 to 50 minute line because everyone waits until after the fireworks to get into the ride queue. When a real true ride park goer goes during the fireworks when there's no line. But no lines also happen for an entire hour because nobody can get out of bed. So go there, ride as many attractions as humanly possible. Plus, if you want, you can now get a nice, relaxing cup of coffee, get a breakfast after going on 4 rides while everyone is still battling for buses, battling for Skyliner spots, doing all the things that amateurs would do and not have a great ride experience in the parks.
All right. Dude, that was amazing, by the way. I love that. I absolutely love that. But I get 30...
You had really, really good points.
You got
did 30
too.
seconds on the board. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so I was taking notes while you were talking, and one of the things that you used to pick apart my argument was that you get there with the hopes that you can get on and the ride doesn't break down. But how many real scenarios and real-time instances have we gone to the park early, rope dropped, and Rise of the Resistance is not ready and it's not open? Same thing with Slinky Dog Dash. Same thing with Tower of Terror. That same problem, mechanical problem, can strike just as easily at park opening as it does at close. And then the only problem is then you're behind the 8 ball and you're not riding that till the middle of the day anyway.
Uh-oh.
I went right to the bell. Yeah, I went right to the bell.
You went right there. You know what the problem was? I couldn't figure out how to turn the bell off.
It's like Model UN, but Disney. I love that comment.
It's like Model UN, but Disney.
The delegate from Belgium would like to make a point of inquiry. I was a Model UN guy, so I get to own that.
I coached, or I was the coach of the mock trial team. So
Model UN, right here.
All right, 30 seconds on the clock. Let's, you know what? I'm going to use an audience member who said Ellie's. Ellie, she mentions the bus lines. Have you ever tried to leave the parks after the fireworks? How horrible is it when your kids are screaming, crying? You ran them all day ragged, and they barely got enough sleep, even though you didn't get up early for rope drop. They're exhausted. They're crying. You have to now close a stroller and get on a bus. Ugh. Everything about that. Ugh.
That's why you stick around and you take pictures. You let them pass out in the stroller, and then you roll them to the buses comatose as you're taking pictures of the parks.
Thank you, Ellie. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ellie.
Let me, and also the name of the book was Haunted Mansion, The Imagineering Story. I'll pull it up while we have the voting going, Justin, so that you can see what that looks like, the cover. But it's it's an old school picture of the hitchhiking ghosts. So if you think that rope dropping is a better way to enjoy the parks, to give it a smile, if you think going all the way to close is a better way to experience the parks, you're going to go with the sad face. So rope drop, smile, sad face, park close. All right, let me pull that up. I'm still not going to say anything about yours until after the voting is closed,
Dude,
but I just want to say you crushed that. That was very good.
I was
solid.
just going to return the compliment to you. You crushed it. This is so much fun. You know what we also should do? I would really love to, I mean, if we're going to take these 2 spaces up, we should have like an around the horn style thing and just have a full-on debate and have less topics but more people talking about things.
Yeah, I think if we truncated the time to 1 minute each, right, and no rebuttals, and the same kind of thing like this and round robin, or and we give like 4 individual. Well, no, you couldn't really do that. It would have to be like team, right? So like you and I would be team rope drop. So it would be like rope drop, then park close, then rope drop, then park close for all the arguments, and then we still do the voting.
Yeah, and you could go back and forth so that like
Right.
as
So
a
it's
team
like
we could be
like
like
a
who
counter, right?
yeah, who's taking this argument.
Right.
I
So,
like that. You got this one.
Justin, this is close though. That was a 23 to 19. So this is the name of the book. It's on Amazon. It's Haunted Mansion and Imagineering a Disney Classic. The Haunted Mansion Imagineering a Disney Classic by Jason Searle. And it's got really, really cool photos inside of the book. If you do the look inside, it's all of these like concept art. That's what sold me immediately is pictures.
Slay says, what country would you add to Epcot and why? I like
my
that.
gosh,
Before we get into our last topic, I like that.
That's a
Let's
really
do
good
that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's like more of a choose your own adventure.
I kind of like that.
I feel strongly about one. Do you feel strongly about one?
Mine is recency bias. I'm just going to throw that right out there. But
Okay,
I think Latin America needs more representation in general. I've said this often. And I used to.
Time out.
Okay.
I think this is a this or that. Which new country would you pick?
Okay,
The
ready?
audience chooses it. Give me a second.
I don't know
got
if this
one.
is fair. Okay, I don't know if this is fair because I already started going first and I'm going to get to go first twice in a row. Is that okay?
Dude.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
Let's go. All right, ready? 3, 2,
All right.
1. You're at it.
All right, so of course recency bias here, but Latin America desperately needs more representation. Yes, we have Mexico, which is Central America. There really is not enough Latin American representation in the World Showcase. I used to argue vehemently, and I used to be very passionate for a Brazilian World Showcase pavilion. But after seeing Encanto, I have fallen in love with the concept of having a Colombian pavilion over in Epcot. I think we should have a walkthrough, much like they have over in Disneyland Paris, but have a house, have a casita that comes to life through the magic of Imagineering, that as you walk through casita, there's interactive elements, there's Disney magic that comes to life. The house is filled with music, it's filled with love, it's filled with laughter. And then maybe, just maybe, we even get a chance to go to see where Bruno lives in behind the walls and check that area out. Cuisine, music, vibrant colors, the celebrating the culture and the diversity of Latin America and Colombia, bringing the music of Lin-Manuel Miranda, my namesake, to the park. We need to have an Encanto inspired Colombian pavilion, and there needs to be more representation for Latin American culture over in the World Showcase. I know it's new too. It's not quite a Disney classic yet, but it is an instant classic, and people, let's face it, are clamoring for it. You can just see the sentiment coming from just the small, tiny festival booths right now. Imagine if we got that expanded on a grander scale to a full-scale pavilion. I yield.
I have so many opinions that I can't share right now because it will help or hinder myself. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you. So I'm going to add India. First of all, we're talking about we have China, right? Largest country in the entire world population-wise. You're telling me India, number 2, with the largest population growth in the entire planet, does not have a pavilion? Now, granted, it does get some love in Sorin. We do get to enjoy a little bit of the Taj Mahal. What an iconic building. That's my problem with thinking about Colombia. There is no real giant iconic thing that you could do. And if you're going to do Brazil, now you're taking a religious stance more than likely because that statue really is in Rio de Janeiro is the largest icon from that era. But the Taj Mahal would not be, and everyone would recognize that as one of the great unique things. You could do a boat tour down the Ganges and show people different cultures and different environments and some of the landscapes that are very, very unique and specific to India. Not to mention the fact that just food in general, if you like bread service, hello. We're talking about the best flatbreads on the entire planet, including chutneys and spices. Why do you think Sanaa is even good? It's because of all the Indian flavors that you get. So to me personally, just India is one of those things where it just desperately needs its own experience. Plus, Joffrey's could do an amazing like chai wala type stand there, which could have just amazing, amazing chai, which is completely underrepresented as a beverage, except for the little bit that we get in, really honestly, it's in Kidani Village and pretty much nowhere else. You don't really get chai served at Starbucks. Stop.
Dude, I don't know how to come after that in my rebuttal. Like
Hang on, time out real quick. I feel like I got ripped at and I missed the ripping because it's so tiny in here. Hang on.
I don't want to yeet myself again. I can't even scroll up. I will yeet myself.
Yeah, I'm doing this very, very slow. Oh, Pablo Escobar is pretty iconic. He is, but you know that we can't be controversial in Disney. We can't even have a Mount Fuji roller coaster because Kodak would be upset that Fuji is listed, even though it wasn't going to be sponsored by Fujifilm.
Hey, Sky, how are you?
We can literally do nothing that's slightly controversial. So,
well,
all right, let me put 30 seconds on the clock because you're not saying Colombia, you're really saying more than that, but you got 30 seconds in. 3, 2, 1, go.
I can't argue against anything that you said. The subcontinent of India is another area that, like, it's just a no-brainer, and it makes so much sense to have. But there's no IP that could go there. And it seems like, just from a standpoint of where Disney is taking the World Showcase and the direction with which they are taking the World Showcase, that for right now, an Encanto booth just makes a lot more sense. But, bro, claps to you. I absolutely love your pick. It was in my episode, too, where we Imagineered the World Showcase.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think are no-brainers for additions, but all right. So on here, rebuttal. Now I'm rebuting the comment section who goes, "Oh, Sanaa is in Africa." Yeah, where do you think they got their spices from, bro? It's Marco Polo didn't go to Africa for spices. He went to India and China and brought them back to Europe. Where do you think they all colonized in Europe? I'm sorry,
dude.
Those are all Indian flavors that just happened to pass through Africa on its way back to Europe. So,
bro, could I get a pound for the history teacher moments that are going on right here? Oh my gosh, like this is straight fire. You are bringing me back to my world cultures classroom right now.
Oh, dude.
Where I taught about the Indian Ocean Basin for a living for 15 years, trying to like tell kids why India is the it. Like India is the paradigm shift that happens in the world is because of all of these peoples searching for the Indies. It is the change of the world leapt forward centuries because of the quest to get out of the medieval bubble and get over to India. Bro, hot fire.
Dude, here, give me the side pound.
Boom.
Yeah, honestly, like when I think about, here, I'll start the poll. Let's get the poll, and then we'll do our little feedback.
You can vote for him because I love it so much. I don't even care.
India's going to be smile, and we're gonna say Latin America will be sad, right? Because I think it would have to be all encompassing. That would be a better pick. So smile for India and sad for Colombia. Honestly, dude, you're 100% correct that everything in South America is completely ignored, but it just. The one thing and I just want to talk about the format of this, is that the reason why this works so well, that came out of the comments. No prep, no nothing, just straight knowledge on the parks, knowledge on experience, and then obviously our history backgrounds just can tie loops into things a little bit different than other ways. I don't know, man. This is really, really fun.
This is fun.
That, like it works really well. I think about you. I think about Kate. When it comes to the history stuff and the more geeky things, because like you can tell people who have to polish and prim and research before they can have a conversation, where for us, it's just rote memory retention. And where we're deficient, the other person usually has a large enough knowledge base. Or if we're lacking, always the comments always help. Somebody knows, because all of us this is what we live and breathe.
Congratulations to you. Are the
Thanks,
winner
man.
for the bro. You're the winner for the night. I have to say, I'm not even mad about it because I would straight up give my vote to India too. That's epic.
Dude,
epic.
You know what? It would be a good opportunity for them. And I know you would never want to do this. You would never want to hem and put into a giant lawn-standing area of a park to be devoted to new IP.
Yeah.
But what a great moment would it be for them to introduce new IP? It's just like, it was a total miss, and it wasn't that challenging for them to make a pivot and do arepas for when we just had Festival of the Arts.
Yeah.
When Encanto was most apparent to everybody.
Yep.
I'm glad that they still did it and they ended up doing it for Flower and Garden, but I still think that that was 3 months too late of the celebration. And I still feel like that booth should just be a straight up Encanto booth. Thank you so much,
Always.
Nessie.
Yeah.
It should be an Encanto booth. The food is so good.
Bring back the empanadas. The empanadas from Festival of the Arts were straight fire. Those things were delicious.
I think it was the best for your $1 buck that you could get because it was a large portion. The only thing I would say is maybe suggesting to dial back down the amount of mustard they put on there because that was a little bit of a detractor, and I think the aioli was better. Thank you so much, Nessie.
Thank you.
Oh, there's so many flowers. A wee.
So, dude, this was amazing. This was really fun. Not bad for our first go. We're going to learn. I've only ever done one TikTok live prior to, and it was the epic 10-hour stream. So this is really my first TikTok live as Diz Life Marc. I raced to 1,000 to get to this spot where I could actually do a show with you. I was like, dude, I got to get to 1K so we can do this and hang out.
Well, first of all, you're saying that you had to race. Dude, the amount of content, and this is just like a good wherewithal for everybody. I know Jackie's pumping out a ton of content for her race to 1,000. The straight up, so that's Wish's mama, if you want to give her a quick follow. Slay was saying this is super fun. Nessie saying this is super fun. We're going to do this every single Thursday.
Yep.
So this is going to be a long-standing, we're calling it Tiki Room Radio, correct? Is that a working title?
Tiki Room Radios that's it. We like it.
So we're going to do Tiki Room Radio. It's only going to live and breathe here on TikTok. And then eventually we should probably scoop this out and put it onto YouTube somehow. I think would be a good cross promotion. I know I can download the lives.
Well, tonight's going to be a mess because I yeeted myself.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. You just either cut the front or honestly, dude, I was saying this to Jason, publish over polish, which means just get it out there. Honestly, people are taking content with their phones over like some crazy, ridiculously like intros and like good highlights. Like I mess up stuff all the time. But what's the difference? Like if you're gonna sit there and just not produce because you're afraid it doesn't look great, you're holding yourself back creatively, and you learn by doing. Like right now, what we're doing and messing up here is part of the learning process. Like never be fearful of failing, and failing in front of your audience is super authentic, and people super appreciate Marc yeeting himself because it makes it fun. Like I do that on the regular. I just want to thank. I really want to say thank you to the Pocket Fam for that race to 1,000. Like you guys, thank you so much for the support in getting me to that spot. Bro, I love this community. Kirk and I had such a long discussion for a while. I didn't know where I fit in the Disney community, and Kirk was like, dude, check out what I'm doing. And I just started coming and hanging out, and I really got invigorated with what was going on here. And I have to say, like, I am always down the rabbit hole of TikTok now and just loving hanging out with you guys. A lot of times I just ghost at work, that like I'll be watching the live all day as I've got like the insurance business going on, and I'm like walking around parks with you guys. But this Pocket Fam and the Walrus Carp community has just like, you guys really are, you're amazing. So thank you for all the love that you give to Uncle Marc. Like I really love you guys. Thank you so much. And there it is. Dude, the glasses. Oh, hello. Thank you, Nessie. I was looking good on. Wait, hang on. I think Nessie was our bird, and the sunglasses were Danielle. Danielle was putting the sunnies on. Look, you just got sunnies. You missed it.
I saw it. I saw the tail end.
You got to give it to her. Thank you. Give her what she paid for it, dude. She paid for it.
Do this.
Oh, you're doing the Batman
I'll do
specs.
Do the backwards. Yeah. Thank you. Those are my Mardi Gras glasses. The Guy Fieri.
Dude, the one thing that I think, and I try to tell this to everybody that's in the process of like creating, like, enjoy the journey, because the ebbs and flows of this are like, everyone loves to make excuses for why they're not performing or why they're not getting views. Like, none of that matters. When you realize that one person got impacted positively, like, that's all that matters. And even if it's just cathartic for you to create, to help you move on from either trauma, or like to scratch the itch of wanting to teach somebody like one innocuous thing that maybe 7 people in the world are like, that's awesome, I always wanted to know how to do that. Like, do that. That's what's so beautiful. Becca, thank you so much. That's what's so beautiful of the internet, is we can go as long tail as humanly possible. Thank you so much, Becca.
Wow, Becca.
Gosh, she's throwing out the hearts.
Wow,
all the hearts. All the hearts.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, you know what? This is a good moment for me to bring up as well. We started something. I don't know if everybody else sees it in here. It's called the Crew. It's something through TikTok. Hang on, I'm going to wait until it scrolls back.
Crew Showdown.
So Crew Showdown, where you create a crew of up to 10 creators who go live frequently. So you're going to see myself, Tattoo Disney Dad, Diz Life Marc. You're going to see Lemuel, Magic Bands and Trash Cans. You're going to see Ashley, Diz Talk Dog. You're going to see Lindsay, who's, what's her full name? It's Ducks something Magic. Ducks Cards Magic. Oh, I'm blanking on her full name. And I just want to throw out there, the reason why we're doing this is just because it's something fun that TikTok is running. There's only 15,000 crews who are doing it. Ducks Card Nest. Thank you, everybody. Ducks Card Nest. And so we're going to be going live a lot next week. So I think it's April 2nd through the 8th. And we're going to be doing matchups next to each other. We're going to be doing lives in the parks together. Kate's going to be doing lives too. So you're going to get a ton of just live content for us. Just there's very, very little money to be won. This is all about us just trying to do something really fun. And a part of that was Marc and I had been talking about doing a TikTok only show for probably a month and a half, 2 months now.
Yeah.
And it took till like 2 weeks ago where we can now legitimately do this as a platform. So be prepared that every single week this will be here, living and existing on TikTok. We will fix it so we're larger and your comments are larger. But I love that the interactive piece was in here. I love that you guys got to pick a question. That was really cool. So yeah, man, this is awesome.
Next week, stay tuned. Next week, we're going to have some more debate topics. Let's do Hollywood Studios next week.
I would love that, dude. This was super fun. And how about this? Because you got to pick. We need 5 topics, right?
I had 5. The one that we didn't do, so check out the one we didn't do, because I saved the last one for you. It was going to be the most overrated snack, pretzel or churro. Disney World, pretzel or churro, overrated. I'm just curious. Let's save it. You want to save it for?
We can save it, but I do have an answer. I think, you know what? If we were Disneyland, I think that would be a better. Here, I can't get underneath the crown. Or here, you crown Tucker. He's low. I just honestly, I think if we had churros added to the mix,
thank you,
like the way that Disneyland does them, I think you would have a more captivating debate, because our churros are so lame, but the pretzels are straight sawdust.
Well, I was just gonna say they're both pretty mundane snacks in our area of the world. That's why I was like, dude, this is gonna be great, because they're both pretty bad. So we would have a good time just like riffing on both of those snacks for.
So Slice is like you're in my head. I was actually thinking that Marc and I would pick 2 topics and then have the chat pick 1 topic. I like your idea better. 1, it's less work for us, and 2, it's more interaction with the audience.
I love that.
Why don't we do Hollywood Studios next week, but only Marc and I will pick 1 of the 2 words ones. That way you only have to prepare 1, I'll only have to prepare 1, and then the group chat will pick the other 3 for us to debate.
Well, and I said for the first one, I only wanted to come prepared that heaven forbid, you always want to be ready. You're a teacher too. This is the what if activity, right?
Yep.
Remember that from Ed Psych when they're teaching you how to develop your lesson plans. You always had to write in your lesson plans in your pedagogy class something called the what if. What if the computer breaks? What if that? And it had to be built into your lesson. You can still see my what if is still very much a practice that I participate in my life.
Well, dude, it's clear that you and I have education backgrounds, we have history backgrounds, we have sales backgrounds, and clearly we've been doing content enough. So just there's so many similarities, and that's why we've been hanging out for the very first time. Here's a little fun story. I'll give you a little hook. How did Marc and I ever meet? It was on a game show. And it was a game show that Marc actually put on his show, and it was in the old school for me Instagram days when I had maybe 1,000 followers on Instagram, and a friend of a friend was like, "Dude, you should go on this guy's show." I hadn't heard of the show. We didn't know anything about each other's content. I said, "That's awesome," and I went on the show. It was so much fun. We had so much good chemistry, you and I, that I was like, dude, we should do this more often. And I know you and Dwayne had chatted about that, and we're like, dude, let's try to do something else. And I think the first thing that we did was probably a Legends of the Magic Kingdom.
We did Legends of the Magic Kingdom.
20,000 League. And then when I told Marc that I was moving down here, which was probably in either June or July, that we were putting up our house of last year, Marc goes, would you be cool with maybe doing like a park show sometime, like nothing serious or whatever? And I was like, dude, I would be honored. And Marc took a shot on me. I know I say that as like, I really do look up to the network, and I've learned so much about producing a show back end to do something really high end from you. That it's just, I don't know, man, like I still feel really blessed that I am friends with you, that I can learn from you, and you always bring a new level of the content to get to something more than just like 2 dudes on here having a FaceTime call.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you know me too, that I just always want to do something. I want to do something that's fun, but I always just want to make sure that it looks and sounds good. But you have been like you have been the perfect Sherpa for me to let go of those conventions and just embrace the organic and embrace the chaos at times, because you know me, like I'm like, oh man, like the graphic didn't come up or this didn't happen. You're like, dude, it's all good. The show went off. And you have talked me down to where I am a completely different creator now.
Well,
because of that.
Dude, there's a lot of truth to that, and I appreciate. Thank you, man. That's very nice of you to say that. When things are chaotic and don't work, you learn that from me.
No.
No, dude. I don't take that as a negative, because
philosophically,
I honestly,
yes, from a philosophical standpoint, to say like, dude, it's okay. Like, it's okay.
No, and I think too many people honestly think that people are watching and judging them, and they aren't. You know what they're watching and judging? Themselves. And once you get and I think as you get older and you're married, like you have kids, like all these things that are like life lessons, and it's tougher when you're young because there's peer pressure and there's social media and you're dating online or any of these things that are transparent. Yeah, maybe all of your friends are really good at TikTok dances and you're not. Like, and you're 13. Like, that's so much pressure, and you're not a dancer and you don't want to do that, but like everybody else does. Like, I couldn't imagine that stress. But when you're older, you realize no one cares. All they're doing is looking at themselves. So why not? And that's a good tip for the content. Do stuff that other people enjoy and find value in, rather than just stuff about you. Because that's the thing that most people get caught in, is a trap about just talking about themselves. So talk about your audience, have your audience do it, and it's infinitely better.
The one thing I want to say too, that you were really instrumental in sharing this with me, and it's something that I now share with other people. But there's so many people on this app that they have these accounts and they use these accounts to go watch. And I've heard time and time and time again from people is, I don't know what to make. I don't have the confidence. Like, I can't do that. And the thing that you taught me was, because for so long, man, I would say to you, I don't know how I fit inside of the community. I'm a podcaster. And I would tell you that constantly. I'm like, dude, put me in an audio only podcast, put me at my desk and in a non-live situation, and I'll talk for 2 hours. But I feel very self-conscious in an element like this. Like, I feel exposed, and I'm getting a lot better, but I do. I feel a lot more exposed than I do in my comfort zone. But the thing is, to those people, be yourself. Kirk taught me this. Be yourself on this platform, and you can't go wrong. I swear, you cannot go wrong. And just make your own content the way that you want to make it. Don't look at trends. Don't look at how you fit into the ecosystem. Make the content you love. And I'll tell you right now, Kirk and you guys gave me such a feeling of Uncle Marc was enough. That was so big to me. Like, Kirk will tell you, like, I was so insecure. And just being on those lives, you guys gave me the courage to just be myself on this app. I'm here because of that. So the advice that I would pay forward to those people that don't have the courage to make these videos, do it. Just do it. And be yourself, because I'm a Broadway wonk. It's like Dear Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen, today's going to be a good day, and here's why. Because today, you're yourself, and that's enough. Like, that's okay. Just be yourself on this app, and that's all you have to be, and the world will accept you as it is. Like, don't worry about it. Like you said earlier, Kirk, everyone judges themselves. Just do your thing.
I think the other massive thing to just layer on top, because everything that you said is right on point. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you. You can learn a lot of things from the roses. It's funny seeing it from this side, because normally I'm looking outward when I'm doing that, and I'm like holding them off in front of the camera. When I think about just creating in general, it's most people are like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know what to do, and this is just one of those random quotes that get stuck in your head. The easiest way to remember a lie is to just tell the truth. And I think a lot of people think that they have to be this thing in front of a camera that's polished and perfect.
Yep.
But the reality is, people appreciate people. And if you recognize that you're helping other people and you're not all about, like, I am very humble. It's really hard for me to accept a lot of things. Like, when people are willing to donate or tip, like, it's really hard, because I just want you to enjoy yourselves. Like, but Mel always says it to me, like, this is like a vote of confidence that people are enjoying what this is, and you have to appreciate and love that too. It's just, I get like awkward and self-conscious, like, I don't want you to do that. I want you to enjoy, but that's how some people show love, right?
Yep.
So I have to be accepting of that, even though that's not how necessarily I would show love. But I really do genuinely appreciate it. And it's just, I think being yourself is so easy, rather than like, hey, welcome, this is Kurt from Walrus Carp. Like, I couldn't do that in a regular life. So like, and that's the other thing that works so well with the lives. I get multiple interruptions a day from people who are like, hey, I see you on TikTok. Like, and it's not weird or awkward, because I'm not like this. And even when I'm taking content with like a phone, and Jason, Tattoo Disney Dad, is yelling at me because my ISO's on auto and I'm a terrible videographer, I'm going, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. Like, this is a part of the process. Like, eventually we'll have our own videographer team if we get big enough and that's what we want, right? Like, so like, don't worry about it. Just do it. Like, you have to execute against your dreams, and you have to take those steps. You have to just go and not be afraid to risk. I think there's another great line of, do you want to live a life of quiet safety and suffering, or do you want to live a life of adventure and risk?
Yeah.
I'm not saying jump out of a plane without a parachute, but it ain't that scary taking a camera to yourself.
Dude, I want to say something really, because J9 Disney Gal said something. She said, I've never ever felt like I was enough. Thank you, Uncle Marc. Let me tell you something. Like, I live in Pennsylvania. I don't have access to the parks. I'm like sometimes I'm super I'm hypersensitive about if I even fit inside of the community, because I am an outsider. Let me tell you something. You're enough. Don't ever tell somebody that you cannot be a Disney content creator because you don't have access. You are definitely enough. You are definitely enough. And it's okay to just be you. And so, like, I'm telling you right now, just pick up the camera and start making content that don't worry about and look at other people's content and say, I can't do those dances. I can't take those pictures and live streams of the castle. I can't do those things. You can still do stuff that is uniquely you and share your joy and share it with people. And it's enough. I'm a guy who's in my man cave in Pennsylvania with a neon sign. And you guys have given me the confidence to feel like I'm enough to be here on TikTok. You're enough. I'm telling you, you're enough. Just go for it. And you have a lot of people that are here that are going to support you.
Yeah, and you know, to mirror some of that language of you being enough, also you being enough is watching and enjoying the content that you want. Don't feel pressure if you don't feel like making content, or you don't feel like chatting in the lives, or you don't feel like joining the Discord, or you just want to pop in and pop out. There's no pressure. You can decide and democratize your time and your attention, which is your most valuable currency. But if you want to, and you're afraid, you're like, I want to express myself, I want to show that part of me, but I'm afraid that I'm going to get judged. Well, recognize, number one, anything you put out on the internet is ripe for criticism. But I have, being somebody who has gotten a million ounces of criticism for things that I thought were not critical, it comes from a place of pain where you have to have empathy for what that person must be going through. Like your biggest hater probably has something not so great going on in their lives. That I actually had somebody in my comments who consistently was hating on the Halcyon so bad and saying, like, forget Disney, all this stuff. I said, hey, dude, I'm so happy that you're sharing your opinion, and I'm so sorry that you're not liking this. What are things that you do like? That's what I wrote in the comments to this dude, who the last 20 Halcyon videos basically told me, I stink, I'm terrible, your Disney is a blood-sucking entity, how dare you give them money? Yeah. And you know what the person responded with? Hey man, it's just they really burned me in a lot of things over the last 20 years and it really hurt.
Yeah, so he's harboring some hurt that he's using, and he's grinding that axe on here. Dude, you know, listen, I'm not gonna, there's no dirty laundry. It's been a weird week for me. It's just been a really weird week for me. And the one thing that I've learned two things. Is one, to do this, here's what I will tell people. It's hard to do this, and it's hard to get out there. It's not like it's an easy thing. When you truly put yourself out there, you're going to get that moment of anxiety where you're like, will people like me? And the thing I'm going to tell you this week is, I've had complete and total strangers who have come to bat for me on something that I was moved to tears. In a moment where I was at my absolute worst, I had these people who came to my defense and have rallied around me, and they've picked me up this week to like get here. And I told Kirk, I was like, dude, the way that I move forward is I move forward, and that's it. And that was because of people like Sarah Thurgood and Allison Crouch and Katie Blomberg and Shauna Van Dyne, Andrew Budd, Justin Grant. Like, these guys quite figuratively picked me up off of the floor this week and just like pushed me forward and were like, we support you. Don't quit. Don't give up. Just keep on going. And I told them, I'm like, I'm just going to keep pushing through. So you're like, thank you, Pocket Fam. Thank you for the, I needed tonight just as much as anything else, man. So thank you, Aquarius, Walrus Carp, bro. And he's not telling me to say this right now. This is my favorite jacket that I've ever had in my entire life. I love it. It's super comfortable and it's super stylish, but I walk around I live in northeastern Pennsylvania, and people are like, dude, that jacket is bomb. Like, I'm not even in a Disney park, and people are like, holy crap, did you get that jacket? And I tell them, walruscarp.com. It's the Epcot. And they're like, hysterical, but super stylish, man.
You know what? The thing that came so organic from Alive, I was at Wednesday Beignets. I was going to get a refill on my chicory coffee. I had left, actually, no, I think Pocket Fam was with me at that moment. I didn't leave them at the table, which I occasionally do, and they get very upset, like they're going to get stolen or kidnapped. I'm like, it's Disney. Nobody does that. And if they do, I'll be able to find you. I'll just get on my other phone and find where my TikTok live is that's running away from me. No, a cast member goes, wow, that's a really nice jacket. I go, it's not a jacket. It's my Epcot. And I can't tell you how many times people have said to me, like, yo, that's a really nice jacket. I'm like, no, it's actually an Epcot. And I turn around and they're like, all right, where? Just where? Like they're in. It's.
I love it, man.
And that was from me misspeaking, which happens quite frequently. Because when you're talking for so many hours, your brain gets fuddled and your words just... it's like I have marbles in my mouth half the time. And I was on Living with the Land, on Alive, and I said, yeah, well, we're here in Epcot. And everybody was like, Epcot? You should make that. And I was like, I wonder if I could make that. And here it became a reality. So
and it is the greatest thing that I have ever owned in my entire life in terms of attire. I absolutely love it. And Linda saw it come out of the bag. She was like, oh, it's a grand and miraculous jacket. I'm like,
it is. Yeah. It's very funny. It's very
funny.
But
I love it. So every single week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be having more Disney debates. I love Tiki Room Radio. We just were like, dude, we're really not ready for this, but we have to do it. Don't worry about polish. Let's just do it.
Yeah, publish over polish. Just get after it. You know what I mean? What's up, Jim? How are you? Luckily, we're getting out of here before Jim can rip me a new one. So,
but we'll see you guys next week. Hey, could you do me a favor, just as a side note, before we get off here? Can you please resend me that link, the team link? I click on it and it goes just to a white screen, the crew showdown. I don't know why.
I
tried to join your crew. Yeah,
you know what I can do? There's a
code. Just send me a code.
Mm-hmm. I can. Hang on. I'm going to send you this way, and I'm also going to text it to you now.
All right. Just send me that, and then I want to make sure that I can get in that in a timely fashion. But dude, Pocket Fam, love you guys, amazing. And we will see you next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Tiki Room Radio.
I feel like we need some sort of like
farewell outro. And aloha to you.
Well, there it is, folks. You got it. You got what you came for. Love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Bye.
And I'll see you when I see you.
So are we going to do that every time now? I'm going to sing it.
If you're willing to sing it, then I'm willing to listen to it.
All right, dude. Bye, everybody.
Oh, hang on. Let's try to do our... Can we get it? Woo! All right, see you guys. Have a good night.